Okay. Hi, everybody. This is Debbie. I'm Debbie from Youngevity, and I have Michael Haas, who is the inventor of this clip that I've been using for running. And as I've been telling you, in Huntington Beach, if you see this lady with this clip in her nose, you know who I am, because that's what it looks like. As I get it in, I look like Miss Piggy. But that's what I've been wearing lately. So I'm going to take it out. But anyways, he's the inventor of this clip, and I wanted to ask him a few questions regarding this clip. Now,
hello, folks. Hello. Nice to meet you all.
And this is Michael Haas.
Hi.
Now, Michael, how did you come up with the idea of making this clip?
Well, in 2013, I was actually going in for my annual physical, and just happened to be at the time I had a bad cold that had developed into bronchitis. And I do a lot of road bike cycling, and he's a sports doctor, and he said, boy, it must be hard to keep up with the kids around here, because we've got a lot of great hills for training, and I like riding the hills. So he was right. It was hard. So he suggested that I take one of those steroid inhaler things to open up my esophagus, because he said taking in more oxygen and more air is oftentimes what really drives an athlete. Because as you know, as a runner, you can still run somewhat if you're dehydrated or if you're hungry. But if you put your hand over your nose and you do this, you can't last for very long. So he said, you need as much air as you possibly can. So we started out with the Vicks thing because I wasn't going to do anything unnatural. So he said, put it underneath your nose and go. I did, and it lasted a couple of minutes. So as it was, I went to another friend's party that I think it was the weekend after, and they were big into the essential oils. And what had happened is they had told me that, you just take a bottle of essential oils, put it on here, and you do this and this. And it worked. It actually worked. The problem was that it dissipated really fast, and you do this again, it was gone. So these friends of mine knew that I had some other inventions, and they said, well, why don't you just figure out how to hang the bottle underneath your nose when you're riding? So that idea caught on, because I did want to work faster. I did want to run faster and ride faster. So over a ton of adorations within a 2-year time period, lo and behold, we've come up with our little clip right here, Breathe Essentially. And that's what happened. So pretty simple. Well, not so simple to get it, but a simple concept anyway. So,
well, my first experience with Breathe Essentially was, I got something from you via a text message, and I want to show that right now. So I'm going to share.
Oh, okay.
What it is was this little graphic that you sent me, because in all honesty, I didn't know what oil to use with this device, and it was great. It gave me a couple, neroli, and also gave me spearmint. Well, I asked Brenda Wright, who is part of my company, is spearmint okay to use with this device? And she said yes. And so the first time I used this device was with spearmint. So I'm going to stop this share so we're back to the videos. And I got to admit that I've been running and I've been improving my 6-mile time, and I couldn't believe it. It actually shaved a whole minute off my, my average pace. So whole minute of the average run, which is great because that's seconds on the average pace. But I have been using it, for different reasons. And then one day I lost my voice. I really lost my voice. And I was feeling kind of down, like you were saying. You weren't really doing well either. And I decided I wanted to run. I was going to run no matter what. So I used it with spearmint again. And again, my run was pretty good, and it was getting faster. My pace was getting faster. And I noticed after the run, I felt so much better for the whole entire day, even though I was losing my voice. So it really did help me during that day, like it helped you.
Sure.
To run. Sure. And I'm so grateful that you invented this little clip here.
well, thank you very much. It's a great testimony to the power and the authenticity and the credibility of essential oils and the direct inhalation that everybody has been talking about. So that's a great story. And let me tell you, that's not unusual to shave that time off. I've got a very good friend over here who's part of the company, who runs into P.F. Chang's every year here, which is a huge marathon in January. And she was one of the first people, and she started off using some of the prototypes, and God bless her out there, boy, some of the looks she got. But the first year she did it, within the marathon, it was similar to yours. She shaved off 6.5 minutes off of the best time ever. And she is an avid runner and trainer. She works with one of the groups over here as to train. So it isn't just her going out nonchalantly and doing it. She does work with a group here who's part of a triathlon trainer, and they were all amazed. So your story is not unusual.
Yeah, and spearmint is known for helping with, lungs and being able to breathe better.
Yeah.
And of course, when you breathe better, you're going to have a better performance.
Right.
So that's what I love about this product. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you was, there's some other oils I looked up in our, foundational aromatherapy book.
Oh yeah. Now, that's the book that Brenda Wright was involved in?
Yeah, Brenda Wright and Leanne King.
Oh yeah.
And I was running at the beach the other day. I got one of those strange looks from a guy. He actually said something tough, and I ran by him. But, they happened to have a promotion that day because it's Christmas time, and they were selling Christmas trees, and they had, cinemas at the beach. They were showing a movie. Huh. But one thing, when I was running past they're trying to sell Christmas trees. I was running past a Christmas tree. It made me think, whoa, when I used this originally, I felt like I was skiing. It just changed my mood and the feeling for my run. And I'm like dodging things and running like I was skiing. So it just made me feel like I was skiing. And that's why my time improved. But when I, ran past those Christmas trees, I thought that maybe black spruce might be a good one to try. And when I looked it up, it does help with, respiratory systems. And pinyon pine too. I don't know if you can see that. So that's pinyon pine.
Yep, you can. Good.
And this is where's black spruce? Black spruce is another one. And those are both pine.
Perfect.
And they both help with respiratory and physical pain and things like that. So I thought that might be a good one. So I may try that. And then of course, Youngevity does have neroli, which is this one here. Which one is it? This one, as well, which I'm going to try later on. I just know that citrus. Oh, that's spearmint.
That's spearmint.
I know that citrus and me are not really good friends. Either are peppermint. So I have to use oils that are good for me, and that's why people need to experiment to see what will work for them.
Right.
Everybody's different, and you don't put a lot on here. You put like a drop or less than a drop on this. And it's a really great way to improve your running. And just recently, with the Santa Ana winds, or when there is trash pickup, I use this device because I don't want to smell the trash when I'm running around the neighborhood. But with the Santa Ana winds, like yesterday, the winds were really forceful, really. It's like I was running against the wind. I felt like Marcel Marceau, oh my God, I'm going to get flipped over. It just made me laugh. And this helped me. I still had like a 10:40 pace when I ran, but today I broke through that using the same device.
Wow.
And it was like 10:29 average, pace for that 6-mile run. So this device really helps you with that. I've been having these benefits. So you also said this other lady has been having these benefits as well. But my question to you is, how often do you change the wicks?
Well, that's a great question. What happens is and the short answer is somewhere between 5 and 6 applications. And you made a great point. Put about a drop on each wick, which will sustain you for a run or a ride somewhere between an hour to 2 hours. Very, very, very well. So what happens is that in the essential oils, it oxidizes, and that oxidization is the aroma that you're breathing. But that doesn't mean that the oil necessarily dissipates, okay? So what happens is after an application, there will be less aroma and less effectualness with it, but there will be some oil left on that wick. So you can use that for, like I said, anywhere from 5 to 6 times. And then afterwards, what's kind of happening is you're putting good oil over the top of the bad oil, and the wick is not being able to diffuse it the way it was intended to do. So the first 2, 3, 4 applications, it works really well. The 5th and the 6th one, you're still getting a lot of it, but there's still a mixture of the new oil with the bad oil. So you'll have to just sort of play with that, and and everything is individual, like you were talking about with the different oils.
Yeah.
But that's a great question. After that, it gets a little iffy on how effectual it will be, because you're just sort of using up the wick's potential.
Okay. Yes, yeah. I noticed that it was getting darker and darker.
Right.
And it begins to crumble after a while. So, when it starts crumbling, I would think you would change the wicks out.
Yeah.
So that's what I plan to do. But this is a great little device. And now I've noticed in the little article you gave me, I guess certain oils will lose their effectiveness if you use them over and over and over again, and
yes.
switch out oils.
Yes, we've been finding out in research, and this would be another great question for Brenda, is that if like most things, if you continue to use it over and over and over and over and over and over, it will become less effectual. Sort of like why they introduced CrossFit, why they introduced compound exercises, because it does different things at that time. So the same thing happens with essential oils. So you had brought up the point that you would use spearmint at one ride, and then you had those other couple of oils, the pine oil and the other one. It's good to be able to stagger those or use them in series. Use spearmint at one time, and then pine, and then another oil. And then after 3 weeks of applications, 1 per week, then circle back to the one that you started out with. So yeah, very good point. Yeah, you don't want it to become ineffectual. So
yeah, and spearmint is great. It kind of reminds me of hot chocolate. When
there you go.
You put spearmint or peppermint in there, but
sure.
I just love that feeling, and the fresh air of skiing is what it reminds me of. And that's why I thought about pine, tree oils as well. And black spruce is something that men love. Maybe they don't like the sweetness of spearmint.
Right.
So,
good point.
But what's great about essential oils is that it not only helps you, with your lung capacity and things like that, but it also is a mood enhancer. So if it reminds you of something, you're gonna be happier. I mean, when you move and you have a certain emotion tied into it. If you think about emotion, it's E with motion. You're going to improve more if you have a happier, uplifting mood. So, and I got through that really windy day because I was just laughing at the wind. I felt like
that's a great point. As a runner, as someone who's participated in sports for a long time, you begin to recognize within yourself, and every trainer will tell you this, you can do more than you think you can. Your body can always do more than you think you can. So with that attitude and that smile that you have on your face right now, as you're running, it helps you get past those points where you don't think you can go any farther, which is why it is a sports enhancement. Mood, the enhanced mood, the enhanced feeling allows you to push past that pain. And we also know, again, as a skier and a runner, that you get to a certain point where you don't think you get through that point, and the next thing you know, you're back on track again.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good for those short times where your mind is, I can't do this anymore. You get through that enhanced, and boom, you're back on track again.
Yeah, I mean, I've got, with this device, I've gotten a 10 pace. So, but you're not going to always hit it all the time.
Right.
So that's a few seconds away. I mean, today was 10:29. So
here you go.
So that's pretty darn good.
Sure it is.
Now, another thing that Youngevity has is the, if you want to show your version, the therapeutic version of Clip.
Yes.
And people can use this for, to help them sleep with certain oils. There's something called, lavender oil is a great calming oil to be a piece. And you probably want to stick with single blends, or maybe just have to have one wick in there because you don't want to sleep with it all night long. I personally had a hard time feeling the comfort of it. I know when I run, I don't feel this, but when I was sleeping, I definitely did. So maybe because I sleep, with my head, toward the pillow really hard, but it was kind of not, and something I may get used to over time. But I would definitely use that therapeutic if I had a problem with, a bronchial condition or a stuffed up nose or something. I would wear it for a few hours and take it out. Do you recommend that too?
Yeah, if you look through your book there, and it talks about any of the oils that can be direct inhalation, which is extremely powerful with essential oils. Any symptom or anything that is affected positively by direct inhalation, this would be an outstanding tool to use.
Yeah, like eucalyptus type of.
Absolutely, yes, no question. In fact, there was a gal that was that's part of Youngevity that got a hold of me a while back, who actually had severe pneumonia, and she loves the product, and I got a text from her that said, without a doubt, she knows, and I don't know what oil she used, but without a doubt, using the tea version during her illness, it drastically, in fact, that's what it said, or dramatically, shortened the duration of the pneumonia. Yep, that's it right there.
Yeah,
yep.
That's great.
That's a great shot right there.
Yeah.
And then also, just for reference, you guys can see that it's sort of, there's a point on the nose clip. You want to always make sure that points back towards you, not away from you, but it points back to you. So it always points right in. So it's a pretty, pretty simple thing.
Yeah, kind of like when I put it in first, where I look like Miss Piggy.
Anyway. But I will tell you this: you did pretty good. It was designed for the one-handed takeaway. It wasn't designed to go in and out this way. The sports one was designed to go in and out this way. It's that simple. So you kind of put it between. You put it here. Yep, you put it between your fingers, and you got it back there. You turn it around the other way, so it points towards you. There you go.
Okay.
You just put it in like that.
Okay.
Yep, you just kind of put it between, just like this, your two fingers, and you just rest it in there and put your thumb underneath, and then just in and out.
Okay.
So
I've been Miss Piggy enough on this video.
Don't even think those things. But again, because of the sports application, you're always doing something. So it's designed to run, put it in, take it out, and it's really that simple.
Okay. All right. Well, I know that, running has been something that I've been improving on. I did my first half marathon at 2:44, and then my last year's half marathon was 2:19.
Wow.
So I smashed 25 minutes. So we'll see how it'll be this year. So I'm really excited about that. As a matter of fact, my average pace was a lot slower last year at this time than it is now. So that's probably going to be an improvement for you. But I was also thinking about using this for other sports, like skiing, since it reminds me of skiing.
Sure.
I would love to use, unless it's like snowing and icing, things like that. That'd be a nuisance to have it on your nose. But I had no problems with the wind. I was concerned about the wind, so I kind of went through that process yesterday. But, what other sports would this be good for?
Well, and I do a lot of cycling. So, and a lot of the groups that I use it with is we do a lot of CrossFit, a lot of lifting actually, and there's a lot of trail running out here. There's a lot of mountain bike riding, and I do a lot of road bike riding. And that's how this whole thing happened. But I'll show you this. There's a little, I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I can see it.
So these here, and if you're a road bike rider, or if you've ever watched the Tour de France, where they're going at it for a very long time, with the regulations in essential oils not being regulated for any illegal enhancement, which is extremely important for the folks that you're talking to, for runners and for triathletes and for folks that are doing Ironman, because there are some regulations in here. That's the great thing about this sports enhancement, essential oils, and this tool for direct inhalation. It is not banned substance at all, so it really is a good thing. But there's a ton of evidence. If you go to YouTube and you type in sports performance enhancement and essential oils, there's just a host of things that are coming out with right now. And if you know this world, these are the most elite athletes in the world at the time. They've been using this for the TT race. They still don't know about the Fujin. So the trainers are using a European blend called Oblast, yeah. And it's a blend of different oils, mostly for the opening up of the esophagus and to be able to take in more air. Actually, if you go to their website, they do a host of things on why it's a good thing for sports people. But anyway, what they do is only for the TT race, they warm up before they actually ride. So the trainer takes a bottle and a piece of cloth, and they put it up their nose, and then they warm up. And then as they get to the start, they kick them out, and then they go. Because as you well know, Debbie, the enhancement of essential oils does last within your system for a certain amount of time, like anything.
Right.
So they get the maximum effect. The concern will be next year, of course, is we want all of those guys using this because they'll be able to use it during the entire race, just not the TT portion. So
yeah, but they don't want to throw it on the ground. They want to hand it to their.
No, they'll hand it to the trainers who's going to have another one alongside.
Coach, right?
That's right. Yeah, hand it to the wrong coach. That's a great idea. Give that guy the wrong oil.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you've heard it here first from Debbie at Zoom.
Well, this has been a great little talk today, and
Absolutely.
we'll go into more details in the future about how, maybe we should focus on, certain conditions and sports. Because I know I'm a new runner. I've never run before until when I turned 51. So, but we can talk about other sports and how they use it. Maybe next time after I go skiing, I could get feedback how the skiing went.
Sure.
So, but anyways, thank you, Michael, for your time.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
And we'll do this again soon. Okay.
All right. Good day, folks.
Well, bye, everybody.